Well, thank you, OSWA fans. Today is May 4th, and we had our Heroes to Villains show. We kicked off our Humans to Heroes anti-bully tour. And man, Joe, we had some great matches this evening.
Boy, man, no kidding, PK, man. Let's start with the first match: Ink versus Scorn and Vengeance. I have never seen any tag team like Ink before in my life.
That was by far the most physical match for the beginning of the show. I mean, how we were able to top that, I was kind of concerned. I mean, Ink came out. This was their debut match, as well as the debut match of Scorn and Vengeance. They show up and they say, with Security Shane, and they say, hey, we want to face the biggest and baddest guys. And I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe Priceless Attraction will come out, right? Maybe High Impact will come out. You know, a tag team that we've seen before. But man, Ink comes out at a combined weight of 600 pounds.
I tell you something, BK, one thing you learn in the world of professional wrestling real fast is never go out there and just challenge the biggest guys in the locker room and you don't know who's back there.
Exactly. It's like a good defense attorney. They won't ask a question unless they already know the answer. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, we also had the next match was the Menace versus Alex Decker. Now, the Menace, this is the first time we've seen him. I'm beginning to wonder if it might be the last.
Well, I tell you, man, Alex Decker, nobody wrestles like that guy. That guy is just amazing. What a great wrestler, and what a great finish.
I mean, he may look like Chris Daughtry's angry younger brother, but I'll tell you something, the guy can wrestle. And the way he finished that match, from a fireman's carry, throws the Menace over, and then drives the knee into his face.
Oh, man.
What a great ending. And then the 1-2-3 count, even that caught me by surprise.
As I said earlier this evening, the Menace didn't look that menacing.
And of course, we had the return of Goat Boy versus Taco, your two favorite wrestlers.
Oh, please. Did you see how Taco came through with his car? Almost took my leg off.
Well, Joe, you know, and to be honest with you, I don't think it would have been much of a loss.
Oh,
you know, but we also had, but White Trash wins, but we also see an exchange of the 24/7 championship.
Oh my gosh, let me tell you something, Fairview. He took Jimmy Lee, just came from behind and just got that 24/7 title. I'm surprised they're able to work together and still finish that matchup and even win.
I gotta tell you, I thought it was pretty funny because when Jimmy Lee lost it, remember, he tried to take it back from Cody Fairview. I was beginning to wonder if Taco and Goat Boy were going to win because they were going to overtake. They would have been so busy fighting each other, it just would have taken one of those two, Taco or Goat Boy, to come in with a quick small package and end the match. But hey, you got to give it to White Trash. They won, and we do have a new 24/7 champion in Cody Fairview.
Absolutely. And I also got to give it to Taco because he did put up a good match before Goat Boy finally broke free and showed up.
Simon, claro que sí, as they say, my brother.
Yeah, whatever. Let's go to match number 4, Brozilla versus Wasabi.
That was actually a better match than I thought it was going to be. I mean, Brozilla, he's only had a couple victories here in the OSWA.
Yeah, you know, every time I see him, he just gets better and better. I gotta hand it to him.
I agree, Joe, but I'll tell you something. I thought he was a little foolhardy to go after Wasabi's corporate championship so soon. You know, he's been here, he's had a couple of victories, but you know, age and experience will overcome youth and enthusiasm every time. Wasabi is, you know, he's got an MMA background, a Japanese wrestling background. He's wrestled here in the States. I thought he was definitely biting off more than he could chew, and Wasabi came out on top, and you got to hand it to him.
Absolutely. I hand to Wasabi. He's not my favorite guy in there. I wouldn't want to hang out with him, but gosh dang it, he's a great wrestler.
I'd love to hang out with him. I've heard his girlfriend is quite the chef. Then you've got Chris Damien and Cody Carnivore.
Oh, yes.
Or, I'm sorry, Cody McCauley, as he's going by now.
Cody McCauley, I tell you so, that was a great retribution match. Man, Chris Damien, he was out for vengeance, and
well, Chris Damien, Joe, did get the victory. There was no retribution there. He got the victory. You know, it was a no disqualification, no count out match, and Cody Carnivore brings the chair into the ring. Does he really think that a war veteran, a former Marine, would fall for something like that? Well, he takes it, he knocks him out, pins him, and then Cody Carnivore decides, well, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing and hits him over. And I'll tell you something, I see a future match in that. I don't see that going away anytime soon.
I don't think we've read the last chapter in that book.
I totally
But I'll
agree.
tell you something, Cody McCauley, he's getting better, he's getting more experience, and I'm liking his attitude. He's got an edge, and he's ready for more victory, and just to see his career take off. It's going to be exciting.
I'll tell you, when we saw the seconds of the last match, when the show came out, personally, I was totally surprised that Mr. Hollywood cashed in his golden ticket. Totally surprised.
I was too, but man, I tell you, he delivered. He cashed in that golden ticket, and guess what? They walked away with those titles.
Well, Yes, I mean, I was surprised because he always struck me as the type that, like, for example, Jake Hughes would win and be tired out, and then he would come out, play his music, and cash in and pin him then.
Are you serious?
As a heart attack.
No. Mr. Hollywood is a great wrestler. He would not take advantage of a champion like that.
Really? Okay. But, like I said, I'm glad to see the guy win, but I'll tell you something. What did you think of Zach Blaine turning on Chad Silva like that?
You know what?
I did not see that coming.
I think it's a good thing. You know what? I see great things in the future for Zach Blaine. I'm glad he got rid of that, of 250 pounds of trash in Chad Silva. Now he's going to finally go on and become his own man. I think Chad Silva was holding him back, and now I see some great victories for Zach Blaine in the future.
Joe, I see totally opposite, because I'll tell you this was Chad Silva had kept Zach Blaine in line and was, helping him channel that aggression. And now that he's with the show, I think he's just going to fall further down the ranks.
Oh, we're just going to have to agree to disagree on that. Because I tell you something, now that Zach Blaine is on his own, man, I tell you something, I see a bright future ahead of him. He's got to wear shades, he's got such a bright future.
And I'll tell you something, there was the ultimate championship was probably the most ultimate surprise we saw this evening.
I tell you, that blew everybody away. The whole crowd was blown away by that one. Yeah, that's something that neither we didn't see it coming. It was just amazing.
I mean, when I saw that Z won, I didn't know what to say. I mean, for the first time, I was speechless, and I know for once you were actually speechless.
It takes a lot to make me speechless, doesn't it?
Apparently, because that's about what it took. Because I'll tell you something, I don't think the White Knight broke a sweat in that whole match. He let Z do a lot of the damage, and I have to admit, it was kind of classy when he kind of let Z take the pin. After Z did all the hard work, of course.
I'm very interested to see what's going to happen between Z and the White Knight in the future.
And I'll tell you something, we have seen some Z's transformation go off the chain. He kind of came here as kind of a joke at first, but now he's like an animal. And look at him, now he's champion. If you would have asked me a month ago or 2 months ago if Z would be champion, I would have said no way.
I tell you something, man, OSWA, you never know what you're going to get.
Yep, and then we got a show in a couple weeks here on May 18th. It's great. It's actually going to be like a doubleheader in baseball. We got the Mount Laurel Festival in Clarksville, Georgia.
Awesome.
And then that night, we're going to be here at Popham's Gym. The wrestlers have committed to doing 2 shows in one day.
I tell you, these wrestlers, they are nonstop. These guys are just serious. They are focused. And they are just on a great path to success.
And I think it shows the spirit of the OSWA wrestlers and there were 2 big reasons, Joe, why you and I joined this show. 1, the spirit of the wrestlers.
Absolutely.
2, the family-friendly environment. It's great. I can bring my kids and watch the show. Everybody can bring their kids and watch the show. There's no swearing, no anything like that. And the kids love it. My kids love it. Every kid loves it. And it's great. And I'm telling you, I've already heard, too, that in the next show, it's already been booked. Chad Silva with White Trash, Jimmy Lee and Cody Fairview.
Absolutely.
With Zach Blaine in the show. And I think that's going to be a great retribution match.
I think so, too. And, man, I tell you, this is going to be great. I'm looking forward to 2 weeks from now. I tell you. I don't know how I'm going to be able to sleep between now and then.
I don't know. I'm going to be up thinking about it myself. But I'd also like to mention, if you'd like to see the action, folks, please go to our Facebook page, our YouTube page, and our Twitter page. They've all got the same account. It's OSWA Entertainment, one word. Also, we've got our website, oswaentertainment.com. And once again, we'd like to thank our fan support, and we'd like to thank the wrestlers for the great show that they've put on and the spirit that they have.
Absolutely. Absolutely, PK. Way to earn your money. I'm paying you well.
Oh, jeez. You're not paying anybody. Folks, have a good night. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
Take care.
Another exciting thing, too, about May 18th, Joe, the return of your boy, Ace Stryker.
Ace Stryker, I tell you, man, that guy, he is beholden to nobody.
That is true.
I mean, I remember the first time I was announcing and I went to shake his hand. He just looked at me and told me to shut my mouth.
And I wish you would have. But I'll tell you something.
Come on.
Great wrestler, and I'm looking forward to seeing him get back in it because I'll tell you something. I see him becoming a #1 contender pretty dang quick.
Oh, my gosh, I tell you something. He is going to be just one of our top wrestlers. I mean, he is hungry. He is ready for success. He is ready for victory. And I think he's ready for the Ultimate Championship.
Not only that, but he's back from that injury of his. And I'll tell you something. There ain't nothing like a fighter that's back from an injury that's ready to prove himself.
I tell you, no one is as dangerous as Ace Stryker.
Totally agree.